2022 just got even crazier. Part 25. Firstly, Russia has implemented a new war tactic, and that's by guarding their Black Sea naval base with trained dolphins. These dolphins have the ability to detect underwater mines, retrieve objects, and warn when the enemy is coming in. However, this has caused controversy because many people believe this is unethical. Next, on the Red Planet, NASA's rover was able to replicate how humans would sound on Mars. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear this.
Got Martian memory all alone.
Now, Tropicana has just made the world's first cereal that is made for orange juice, but I just don't think this is a good combo. And finally, the UK has opened up the world's first flying car airport. The future is really here. Here are some secrets airlines do not want you to know. Firstly, you probably think sitting up front is the safest spot on a plane. Well, these are your chances of survival if disaster ever happens. The back is going to be your best chance of coming out alive. Next, have you ever wondered what would happen if a passenger died mid-flight? Well, many times if the aircraft is full, they will leave you in your seat and put a blanket over your body until you reach your destination. Now, you might want to think twice before drinking the tea and coffee on planes because it's the same water that's being used for the toilet. And this water comes from tanks that have rarely been cleaned. Moving on, you might feel safe locking yourself in the bathroom, but anyone is able to open it from the outside. And finally, during takeoff and landing, they turn off the lights. They do this just in case there's a crash. This is because your eyes take a little while to get adjusted to the darkness, so if it did crash, this would increase your chance of survival. Here are some secrets airlines, scary movie facts that just don't sit right with me. Firstly, while George Lucas was on set for the movie Jaws, he was looking around in the mechanical shark when it suddenly had a malfunction and bit down on his head. Thankfully, after a while, they were able to pry the shark's mouth open and set Lucas free. Next, while filming The Conjuring 2, Janet was being interviewed when she started making demonic noises, and this was 100% real and off script.
No. Who's there? Doctor.
Moving on, in Pirates of the Caribbean, have you ever noticed the red spot on Johnny Depp's face that increasingly gets worse throughout the movies? Well, it's actually a common STD for pirates known as syphilis, and since it was uncurable back then, many pirates died years later because of this. And finally, while filming The Shining, actor Danny Lloyd had no idea he was in a horror movie at the time. He thought it was a kid's movie his whole life until he rewatched it as a teen. Scary movie 2022 just got even crazier. Alright, firstly, Apple just got sued and lost. See, a man in Brazil bought an iPhone and was unhappy that a charging brick didn't come with it. And Apple claimed they're helping the environment by doing this. After the man took Apple to court, the judge agreed that it wouldn't make sense for them to sell a charger and not the brick, so he ultimately won $1,000. Next, on NASA's live stream, a random cube was caught orbiting the sun, and right after it was captured, the live stream was shut down. But what do you all think it is? And finally, on Russian state TV, they issued a chilling warning that they could wipe out the UK and also Ireland with a nuke. They said they would use a Poseidon nuclear missile that would create huge radioactive tsunami waves that would wipe out everything in its path. He then proceeded to say that they have the power to turn the USA into radioactive ash. And I wasn't really worried until Putin came out and said this: tag anyone who lives in the UK or US. 2022 just got even crazier. Alright, firstly, from the Perseus galaxy cluster, NASA has just found what a black hole actually sounds like. And if you weren't already terrified by them, once you hear how it sounds, you will be. Next, the state of Tennessee has just passed a law that requires drunk drivers to pay child support if they kill someone's parents. Do you all agree with this? Now, there is currently a hepatitis outbreak spreading among children across the US. From this, there has been 5 deaths and 15 individuals had to get a liver transplant. Believe it or not, but pet dogs are currently being investigated as the cause of this outbreak. Finally, a company is planning on releasing 2.4 billion genetically modified mosquitoes across different parts of the US. They say this will cut down on diseases in mosquitoes, but do you all think this is a good idea? 2020 not so fun facts you'll regret learning. Part 3. Firstly, artist William Udermolen was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 1995. For the next 5 years, he drew these self-portraits of himself that really show the heartbreaking reality of this disease. Frederick Linwood, also known as the UK's first serial killer, would tie muffins onto strings and would lure individuals into his bakery where he would torture and end their lives. The popular nursery rhyme, "Do you know the Muffin Man," was made to warn people about him. On average, 12 humans are killed by sharks every year, but about 11,000 sharks are killed by humans every hour. I'm not too sure if you needed to know this, but this is what an elephant looks like without a trunk or ears. Finally, when Albert Einstein died, his last words were in German to a non-German nurse, so nobody knows what he actually said, but what do you all think it was?